How we doing, everybody? Another episode of Will These Comics Make Good Film and Television Shows? We got Blade, we got Creature from the Black Lagoon, and we got Red Sonja. Let's talk about it right now. Thank you guys so much for coming back to the channel and ranting with me as we talk about movies, television shows, and comic books. I am award-winning screenwriter, novelist, and comic book writer Frank Zanca. Thank you guys again so much for spending time with me. I greatly appreciate it. We're going to jump right into talking about these Marvel and I guess both of them, or the other two are just all independents. See, look at that. It's all going back to independent. Not so much Marvel and DC anymore. It's pretty crazy because it ends up that the the independents are better than the big two anymore. Scary thought. Before we jump into that, remember to give me a like and a subscribe. Give me that thumbs up and click that little bell. And also, if you are into Mark Spears art or just classic monsters or card games, Mark Spears and I, who does cover art for, he did Marvel DC, he just did, before Zod. And he's done Power Rangers and Spawn, etc. But anyways, he had a whole thing of classic monster art, so he and I teamed up together to make this cool little monster game. I'll talk about that more at the end. But if you're interested in signing up when we're going to launch, we'll launch on the 20th of May. The link is in the description below, so you can check that out and sign up. It's free to sign up just to get more information. All right, so let's jump into Blade number 10. Yeah, so this is by Brian Hill, and if you guys have seen my rest of my my review on this, it's gotten progressively worse as time goes on here, and this is all leading into Blood Hunt, which is the new Marvel whole spin-off series, a whole event that they have going on. It's going to be like 60 books. You know how many I'm going to get? None. I don't really care about this at all. Whatever leaks into books like I'm already getting, like Moon Knight or whatever else, yeah, I'll pick it up. But outside of that, I don't care. So this whole thing is about Blade fighting with the Adana. He ended up releasing it. That was the beginning, which was kind of cool because he was there to save a child and or a woman, and the woman ended up, when he did save her, ended up being this demon that he unleashed, and he's been trying to put the genie back in the bottle the entire time, and it just has not been working. And then he went to Doctor Strange and asked him for help, and they ended up getting this sword, and then he fought, because a sword was the only thing, of course, it has to be a sword. Not getting too tropey there, Brian Hill. And from there, he ends up losing the sword to her along with the fight. And now the only thing that he can do is try to get to her to get the sword and then kill her. All right. So meanwhile, he's got his girlfriend who's got a demon in her now because of the Adana. She has to wear this necklace to keep the demon at bay. So her name is Tulip. And then there was another girl that he ended up assassinated. I guess her father, not well. I guess because he apologized for it. But anyway, he ended up going to hell and getting the ghost of her father to help him. Yeah, it just got really weird. We're not even, it's not even a Blade book anymore. So anyway, to get her attention, the Adana's attention, he ended up setting this whole supernatural, occultish library on fire that had all the ancient books or whatever else. So all that stuff was on fire, and he's got the attention of all these vampire demons, etc. And there's the ghost of the dad there in the middle. And he also got trained by, this is another thing I don't like, he got trained by Dracula, so now he has Dracula's powers. I don't know. Would that not make him a daywalker anymore? I don't know. But anyway, he turned himself to mist and ended up killing all these creatures along the side of the wall. And he's like, I'm screaming at the sky. You will face me. I'm not afraid of you, Adana. And everybody's like, yeah, chill, bro. Chill. She can't hear you, bro. You can scream your head off all you want, but all you're doing is wake up the neighbors. So anyway, yeah. So then Satana shows up, not Zatanna, but Satana shows up and says, I didn't think you'd actually burn everything down, but here you go. I'm just going to open a little portal for you, and you can go. And so this thing's so convenient. I don't know if they knew this was the end or whatever, but this is all extremely rushed. First, he couldn't find her at all, and now she's just opening a portal to her. Okay. And there you go. So there's that. I don't even know what the hell I just showed you. All right, so now they're across the portal. They're about to face the Adana, and it's all four of them. And she's like, bring it, baby, bring it. He's like, I'm going to bring it. I'm going to bring it. And she's like, well, I'm going to bring it first. And then she, smashes the ground in the pose and knocks them all away. And Blade ends up getting airborne before that. And we have the fight and blah, blah, blah. And we have arrows going into her, and she's laughing it all, going, you think you're going to kill me with the arrow? I will not be killed with the arrow. And she's like, she has little things that grow out of her elbows, and she's blocking his sword, and he's like, I'm going to shoot you. An arrow to the head. She's like, I don't need that head anyway. And she's like, look how much fun I'm having. It's fun. And, of course, she's wearing the sword on her back. All right, just remember that. All right, he turns into bats, and he's like, I'm going to attack her. And she's like, no, you're not. What is all this? Don't give me rabies. And then notice the best panel there. Of course, the sword is now gone. Of course, I was waiting for that. Because why would you wear the one thing that can kill you on your back? Come on, man. Come on. You'd be destroying that. You'd be hiding it. No, just wear it on your back. Come on. So anyway, she dies very easily. And they're like, okay, I'm just going to take a rest now. Anybody got some tea? And that's the end. Bad, bad, bad. Extremely bad. Bad. Would it make a good film and television show? No. No. I like the idea of him releasing the demon and feeling guilty about it. And I like the team up. And I like Strange being in it. Of course, he did nothing. And then the end is just so convenient. And going to hell was bad. And going to ask Dracula for help was bad. From like the third issue on, it's just been trash. So yeah, it just went down. I love Blade, and this is just not a Blade thing. It's not good. All right, so moving on to the creature from the Black Lagoon. So Skybound's doing this whole stuff with the. They're doing the Energon universe, and they're doing this Universal Monsters thing. So they did Dracula last, but I think the one for Dracula actually paced the movie, the original Bela Lugosi movie, where this is completely different. I mean, there's nothing here that's similar in the least. Because I don't know, can I turn the camera all the way around? All right, you see up there, but next to the Tron one, of course, that's Julie Adams. She actually is the actress from the Creature from the Black Lagoon movie. I met her when she was in her 80s. She has since passed. So unfortunate, but she was a beautiful person. Not only a beautiful woman, but a beautiful person. So very proud of that, because I'm a big fan of the Universal Monsters, and I always thought that the Creature from the Black Lagoon, the design of the character, I thought was brilliant. For back in the early 50s, it was amazing. The creature suit for that, and the character was able to actually swim in the water and stuff like that. I'm like, amazing. Right now we do CGI and we get away from all that, but these are the guys that didn't have that. They had to figure that out. They had to think out the box about how to do all this stuff, and it looked great even back in the 50s. And I think that's where the character has that longevity, because it was beyond its time. And when I was a kid, I had a tank, a fish tank with goldfish and stuff like that. And I really didn't care about the goldfish, as you could tell from their constant death. But I had the air bubbles would come up. It would be a tube in this Creature from the Black Lagoon thing that went like this. It constantly was like going up and down. I didn't care if I ended up finishing that or not. I just wanted to see the creature from the Black Lagoon do that. That's fun stuff. But anyway, so I'm not a fan of this artwork, and I don't think that the artist here captured the design of the creature very well. So we start out with this woman who is she's dreaming about drowning, and look at that piece of art. I mean, that is horrible. That's horrible. But she wears a gun, but I think she's a reporter. And so she's having like a nervous breakdown or whatever else, and she wants to go out on this mission to talk about these drownings that she thinks is being done by this other guy, but I guess it's being done by the creature itself. But she doesn't believe in that anyway. So we got this nice little splash page, but again, I think the artwork is kind of cartoonish here. I don't really know what the problem is, but I'm just not digging it. So anyway, I guess she was like continually waiting for this guy to pick up his prescription, and the woman called, but she didn't pick up the call in time because she wanted to actually garner this guy. She wanted to talk with him, and she's like, "What? We got him on tape," and I guess she's also getting prescriptions for herself for sleeping because she doesn't want to dream. I guess she had some assault or something like that happen to her, and she didn't want to dream. But anyway, they captured the guy on camera, and she's like, "Oh my God, it's bright out here." But I guess they were talking about another drowning that took place, and she ends up following this guy, etc. And they identify the guy that's on the camera. She goes into the morgue, and she's like, "I want to see the body, blah, blah, blah." And he's like, "No, the body's already spoken for with more money than you're giving me." However, it's getting picked up at this time. So she takes the money, but she's going to follow the guy that's picking up the body. So that's what happens here. Again, it has nothing to do with the original riverboat crew and everything like that, where they found a creature from the Black Lagoon's hand, and that's what the movie was about. And this is nothing like that. Nothing. But anyway, so she follows the guy into the Amazon or wherever she's at, into whatever this swampy river is, and she loses the guy, and we have this coming to Jesus thing about little fish in a big pond situation, and she's like, "What am I gonna do? I lost him, it's just not fair." And then the creature, see, that's not the creature's eyes don't look like that, man. And she's like, she immediately pulls out her gun because she's feeling that something's watching her, and we're hearing noise. And she tries to jump across the river onto the rocks and misses. I don't know what the hell she's doing. But anyway, she falls, she gets dragged down. I don't know, I don't understand it. And the creature's there, and then she sees like the assault as she's drowning, and we get this thing about drowning. And see, that does not look like the creature, man. It just doesn't look like him. Why didn't they use Julie Adams as this? If they own the rights to the creature, why would they use a blonde? Because it would have been, it would have been more interesting. Yeah, see, the creature doesn't look anything like that. This is all wrong. They picked the wrong artist for this, man. So it would have been more interesting. Yeah, see, there's the Dracula one. But it would have been more interesting if they had continued with Julie Adams' character, and after that whole assault in the water, and they had to find out if the creature was really dead, because these drownings were taking place at another point in the Amazon where maybe the creature moved, or it was a different one. It's kind of like Alien, that kind of thing. You could have created more of the lore. So right now, I'm going to continue reading it just to see where it goes, but right now it's a no. I would love to see the creature with Black Lagoon redone. Love to. But not in this. It's bad. Who wrote this thing, by the way? I think it was 2 writers, by the way. Yeah, Ram V. He's a hit and miss for me. All right, so let's jump into A Red Sonja by Thorn Grunbuck. So I really like her stuff. The dialogue on this is off. I don't know if she's just having a bad day or whatever, but this does not have the same sense of dialogue that have been in the past, unfortunately, because I really enjoyed her stuff. This and the Conan one by Titan have both been really good. I love when the arcs, like the arc of the character is over or whatever the comic is over, but it leads into the next one. And that's what she did. So we had this whole thing about Kulan Goth. She didn't know that Kulan Goth was, of course she knew he was dead, but he was communicating he was possessing people through the other side. And because of the stuff that she was doing, or he was kind of pressuring her to do, ended up opening up a veil where he was able to step back into the real world. However, when he did that, he also brought some other stuff back over, that these gods or whatever else, and is causing a big rift by him being alive. So I thought that was kind of cool. So she hooked up with these other two girls. It was a woman and a girl. I think they were sisters. And the younger sister was about to be sacrificed, so she saved that sister and brought them to another house. And then they realized that these giants were about to overrun this whole village on this wild hunt. So they went to warn the village. And Grace, who is the other woman, gets skewered with an arrow and dies. So meanwhile, she found out where Kulan Goth was now hiding, is going to go confront him, but he's very powerful at this point. So I didn't know how that was going to work out. So we got this nice little splash page of her taking no shit and literally walking through and just killing everybody on her way to Kulan Goth, who is now, gotten more power. He was like killing a bunch of sorcerers and taking their power, etc. And here's where I tell you that the dialogue has suffered right here, because the guy in the green calls her honey. No, nobody called anybody honey back in those times. Sorry. They would call her wench or whatever. That would probably be the case, but not that. And so she lays them out too. But some of the dialogue does suffer in here, and I don't know why. I don't know why the editor let some of that stuff go. But anyway, she ends up confronting him, which I thought was kind of cool. But he does not kill her, even though he has the ability to do so. And I was wondering why. Because we just saw him, just kill people right and left. But anyway, he has snakes come out of the ground and confine her. And the artwork's pretty decent in here. Then we see Grace, right? So he's asking her about Grace, and he's like, no, Grace is dead. But Grace wakes up, right? And we don't know if this is in her mind or whatever, with the snow around her, but the thawing snow. And so he's communicating through portals with this other guy and taking possession, where he then meets with the queen and says, hey, we got some problems. But you have to listen to me, or else we're going to have some bigger problems. And she's got her own sorcerer there is telling her, no, don't listen to him, etc. And he literally melts the guy, too, into a bird, etc., so she can basically see his magic, etc. And he sends the bird out. So there's the demon guy that's basically walking around with the giant, and the giant saying, hey, look, man, they don't worship you anymore. And he's like, yeah, they did. He says, nope, not like they used to. And just, praying isn't worshiping. So we have this, basically, the gods are coming back situation, and they're going to demand. And he's like, look, I cannot handle these guys on my own. I'm going to need your help. So you can either help me, or you can watch everything get torn apart. And that's why he didn't kill her. So at least we have a reason. I like when writers give us a reason why the villain doesn't kill the hero when they have the opportunity to do so. So anyway, she finally breaks free and kicks him in the head. But then this whole big tree pops up, and he's like, I thought you said she was dead. And she's like, who? So he realizes that Grace was more than she appeared to be, but she didn't realize it. So, yeah, I mean, there's a whole bunch of woodland stuff coming out, just killing people, and she's like, what the hell is going on? And And I guess Grace turned into an angel of the forest. I don't know what's going on here, but she's like, yeah, I know you, Sonja. Ooh, I don't know what's happening at this point, but I'm interested. I like the fact that Grace isn't dead, and I like that Grace is a god. I don't know, because when they went to the cabin there was like a sorceress there that was, I guess, part of their family. That was their aunt or whatever. So there's more to this family, and that makes the thing, what's the little girl then? You know, is the little girl a god also? She was going to get sacrificed? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. So let's do a recap. Is this going to make a good film or television show? I like this a lot. Again, we're getting a very bad version. If they do release that, which I'll be surprised if they do. If they do release the Red Sonja with the actress that they have picked, I did a video on that as well. It's bad. The casting's already bad. But this story would be kind of cool. I love Cool and Goth as a villain. I think it really works. Creature in Black Lagoon, I'm going to reserve that, but this is not my favorite here. I don't think this is going to make a good movie. I think this is a bad start. But let's see where it goes, but it's a bad start so far. And Blade with the Adana. No, it's bad. It's horrible. It's horrible. The first 3 issues are bad. The rest of the 7 are good, but the rest of the 7 are bad. All right, well, that's it for me. Thank you guys so much for spending time with me as we go through these comics. And yeah, so we had one up and basically 2 down at this point. 2 that we're like, no. These poor writers, man, they can't get their shit together. How do you screw up Blade? I don't know, man. But also, remember to give me a like and subscribe. Remember, too, that I'm going to be working on a film for this whole month, so I won't be picking up my comics at all. I will try to get into New Comic Book Day, at least pick some stuff up there. I might do some shorts to show that, that I've picked some stuff up and, what I got, but that's about the extent of it. So I'm going to be radio silent here for a little bit. I might try to take some video on set and see how that goes. And also remember that this is launching on the 20th on BackerKit. The description below has the link if you want to get notified. In the first 36 hours, we're going to be giving away, and you see that's even closer than what the other guys did. But the first 36 hours, you're going to get a free card that you're not be able to get otherwise. So right there, it's worth money. And but then you'll be playing as Dracula, Frankenstein, Wolfman, etc., and you'll be able to augment your army as you go take control of different locations like the Mummy's Tomb, a ghost ship, etc. And then we also have an expansion, which is Dark Wizard of Oz. So we have the Flying Monkeys, we play as Dorothy or the Wicked Witch, and then we also have the other witches in there, and the Tin Man and the Cowardly Lion, etc. So it's lots of fun. Anyway, check out the description below for that link again. And I will see you guys on the next one. Thank you guys so much for spending time with me. My other videos will pop up here as well. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks again.